Hi, the kids. George?
Hi guys, my name is Marlene McCohen and this is Cody, my African Gray, and we would like to welcome you to Parent Tip Tuesday. Those of you who joined us last week, you know that this room proved to be a little bit difficult for the birds to be in because they don't really hang out in here at all. So they don't know anything about this room, so all they want to do is explore. Right now, I have with me just Cody. He's the only one in the room. He was calm before I filmed the video for probably about 2 minutes. Those of you that follow me on Instagram and watch my Instagram story, you know that Cody likes to be in drawers. So when he was on my shoulder, all he wanted to do was figure out how to get in this drawer. Cody has already started to be a little bit rambunctious. I know there's some of you who are excited about that, hoping that he'll cause a little bit of trouble because you guys like those parts of the videos. For me, I'm hoping that he's pretty well behaved, but I can tell he's already very, very busy, so there's gonna be a lot of step-ups in this video. Speaking of this video, we would like to welcome you to a video about feathers. Yes, and specifically stress marks in a parrot's feathers. I want you to know that there's actually a lot you can tell by your parrot's feather. Every time your parrot loses a feather, it's a really good idea to take a look at it, to investigate the feather, to see what's different about the feather from previous feathers, compare feathers in your birds. Once you get in the habit of knowing what to look for, this is all going to be really easy. But to start, let's get in the habit of looking at your bird's feather as soon as the bird drops the feather or loses the feather in a molt. Now, there's many different things that you can actually look for in a parrot's feather to gauge some different things. You can look for discolorations, you can look for the dryness, the oiliness, but today we're actually just going to talk about stress marks. I wanted to give stress marks their own video because I feel like it's very important for you guys to understand what stress marks mean and how to notice them and the different types of stress marks that you can find in feathers. Cody and I are going to show you a few feathers to start with. I'm going to bring out the big feather first. This is Rocky's feather from when we first got him. Do you guys notice the black on the feather? I'm going to get you guys a close-up right here. Now, these black marks on Rocky's feather from when we first got him are what you call stress marks. And they can mean a ton of different things. But one of the top reasons that birds get stress marks, aside from obviously being stressed, is diet. Diet is extremely important to the health of your parrot's feathers. Your bird may not be getting enough food, not enough of the right type of food. He might not be getting a good variety of food, and your poor bird could actually be hungry. Like, that's even the hardest thing for me to say, because to imagine a little bird hungry and it being taken out on their feathers is so, so sad. That's why we have to look for these things, because we have to know what is happening with our birds. Now imagine you're one of those parrot owners that you just fill the bird's bowl with whatever food you ordered for him, whether it be the best food or not, and then refill it at the same time the next day. That's not enough for your bird. You want to make sure he's getting a well-rounded diet with a lot of vegetables, a lot of greens, and some fruits. It's really important for your bird. Aside from the seeds that you're putting in your bird's bowl, or pellets, which is 100 times better, you should be feeding your birds chop consisting of vegetables and fruits and many different things throughout the day to make sure that they're getting all of the nutritional value that they should be getting. And you can tell a lot by the feather. So this darkness right here in Rocky's feather is extremely important to you being able to tell his health. Now, I'm going to show you a few other stress marks that you can look at. CODY's feather. This may be hard to tell, so I'm going to get you guys a close-up right here. But do you see the holes in CODY's feathers? I'm not talking about the ruffledness on the sides from it being in the bag, but if you look, let me show you where. CODY's not going to let me. CODY, I have to show them your feather, okay? But you're like on my hand. If you look in the middle of the feather, don't do that. We have to make this video. It's not for you. No, this is not for you, this feather. Okay, guys, if you look right here, you'll see like the holes. It's very different from how a feather should be. You'll see holes all over with the sun going through. Okay. Now, if you look at CODY's most recent feather, there's none of that. There's no holes. It's a beautiful feather. There's much improvement here. So obviously when I first got CODY, he was under a lot of stress. As you guys know, he hadn't been out of the cage at all. And I actually don't know what type of diet they were feeding CODY either. And I'm assuming from the first time I met CODY 3 years prior, they didn't even know that you could give birds vegetables and fruits. So that's really important information. Now, if you've discovered some stress marks on your bird's feathers, then there are a lot of things that you need to look into besides for nutritional deficiencies. You want to look into the stress of the bird as a whole. Is your bird getting enough sunlight? You can also tell if your bird's not getting enough sunlight by how bright the feathers are. Let's look at Rocky's new feather. Okay, it's a little bit bent at the edge because it doesn't fit in the drawer. But do you see how vibrant and beautiful Rocky's feather is? So it's a lot different and much, much more improved than the feather that we were looking at before. If you guys want to see them side to side, you can see the color difference in them and just how shiny this feather is. You guys know that Rocky gets a ton of sunlight right now. Sunlight is extremely important to the vibrance of feathers because that indicates that your bird is getting a good amount of vitamin D, which is also really important to your bird's feathers. Let's talk more about why your bird may be stressed. Your bird may not be getting enough sunlight. Obviously, we talked about the nutritional values that they may not be getting. Your bird may just be stressed. Maybe your bird doesn't have enough toys. Maybe your bird doesn't have enough interaction with you. Maybe there's something scaring your bird that you need to adjust and make sure it's not in the cage anymore. These are all very important things. Things that might generally stress out your bird. Is your bird in a different spot? Should he be in a different spot? Is he getting enough time out of the cage? These are all really important things. Now, if you look at these two feathers, you'll notice that they're different and they indicate two very different emotional Rockies, right? How do I know and remember what time frame this is from? Well, what I like to do is log the bird's feathers in my own way. I don't really log them in a super OCD fashion, but first and foremost, every feather that falls that's big and beautiful, I always pick up the feather and analyze it for stress marks, for vibrance, for discolorations. So when I'm looking at the feathers in that moment, I remember, wow, okay, we need to change some things or improve some things with this bird. If I just got the bird, like in the case with the Rocky's rescue, and he hadn't been out of the cage for like 10 years, then I know that we're going to improve this and his feathers are going to grow in so much more beautifully. But if I've had the bird for a while and he has a stress mark or I notice a change in feathers, then I'm going to look at the time of the feather and when he had his molt and when this stress mark could have occurred and check out if there's any difference between the feather that has just dropped and feathers previously. Also, if there was something that changed around that time period, because sometimes what happens is you can tell, wow, around this time the bird was molting and we moved and maybe that caused some stress, change in environment. Maybe someone was in the house that stressed the bird out. Maybe you got a new bird around that time. All of the regular basic things that stress parrots out, you'll be able to tell by the feathers and logging them what changed during those time periods. So for example, if I have a feather that is really beautiful and in great condition, and I had a feather previously that wasn't, but I got a new feather again that wasn't as good, like basically before and after the beautiful feather, then I can see what two things happened that might be correlating. It's really important to kind of put the feathers together with their molts if you can, because it's a really good way to see what changed in those periods of time. Obviously, if you have some great feathers, you can keep them all together and know that your bird is doing quite well. However, the moment you find some stress marks, it's a really good idea to analyze the feathers and see what you can do to improve your bird's lifestyle. Now, you have something to say? Do you know that in your last video, you were doing the Samsung phones all day? Yeah, and I didn't even notice. Yeah. Cody obviously has a better life, as you can tell from his feathers, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop looking at them and analyzing them. Actually, I find it to be very thrilling in a very investigative sort of way. I wanna know everything. Look, I actually have, well, I thought I brought in here Picasso's feather, but Cody's kind of been at them, so maybe I can't find Picasso's feather. Oh, look at Picasso's little feathers, so beautiful and vibrant. I mean, it's been a while. This feather has been in there quite a while, so like it's a little bit ruffled. It's hard to show you things on Picasso's feathers because they're so tiny, but his feathers are just so gorgeous. So it's a really good idea to keep all of your bird's feathers, especially the blood feathers, because those are going to be the ones that tell you. The blood feathers are the ones that have this point at the end. Those are the very important feathers to keep for great indication of what's going on with your bird. If your bird has always had great feathers and you notice a huge change suddenly and you're not able to discover what it could be, it's very important for you to maybe go into the vet and check out what's going on, see if there's anything different with your bird, see if he needs anything. If there's something that can be improved, it's really important that you discover what it is. If your bird's on any kind of antibiotics for something else, that also could have caused some stress marks in your bird's feathers, so that's important to keep in mind too. And I should also tell you, do not worry, they will grow back beautifully. So if your bird's feathers have some stress marks, but you're making improvements, just know that they won't always have stress marks. But it is really important to pay attention to your bird's feathers because there's so much you can tell by them. It's kind of like a secret investigation. And if you catch it early enough, you can make some great changes and prevent your bird from dying and prevent yourself from having any kind of heartbreak just because you didn't know or you were uneducated. Which, by the way, I always say, at least you guys are educating yourselves. I don't want anyone to feel guilty for anything. I just want you guys to know that you're here and you're here because you care so much about your birds. So don't beat yourself up for not knowing something that you are learning now because you're here learning it. And what are you doing? I see you. Yeah, you're very naughty. I know. I know. Please share this video with anyone you know that has a bird because you never know what they don't know or what they need to know. My goal is obviously to get as much information out there as I possibly can to you fellow bird owners so that we can all have healthy, happy birds. You guys know that I got really into my YouTube videos when I first got my African Gray George because I just was so in love with him and I just wanted to share him with the world. I didn't stick with my YouTube videos until he died, which I tell you guys more often than not. But because he died, I thought to myself, I got to do something for him and I got to do something for all of the bird owners out there because if there's any kind of information that I can give you guys that will save you from the heartache that I went through, then that's what I want to do. What? Yeah, and that's what I want to do for him. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. I love getting new subscribers to this channel. It means more to me than just subscribers. It means that you guys care about birds and that, you know, you really... What are you doing? Look, you know, because I only have a second to catch him before he does something. One day I'm going to make you guys a video on what it's like to live with an African Grey. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. It really does mean so much to me. Follow us on Instagram. When I say us and we, I really mean me and the birdies. And watch our Storytime Sunday on Sunday. And stay tuned for the next Parrot Tip Tuesday. And I am working on a Whatever Wednesday for you guys for tomorrow as a Whatever Wednesday special. The reason I'm saying this, even though I have no idea if I can get it out in time, is because if I say it, I believe I will have to get it out in time. So that is what we have for you today, right, Cody? Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. Bye.